All right, this is Jackie, and I'm here with War and Treaty Day 2 of Bonnaroo. We're going to enjoy this like cloud right here and this little breeze as long as we can hold on to it. Tanya, you're from D.C. Michael,
Yes.
you spent time in the D.C. area as well. Did you watch the Caps game last night?
Oh boy, I am not a Cavs fan. And I'm from Cleveland.
Yes, I did. True. But I did get to go see I found a Chili's, got to watch the game. So I feel. Anyway. Well, Tanya, you are the consummate writer. Do you prefer paper, pen and pencil, computer? Like, how do you write?
I am not the writer of this
not the
band.
writer,
No,
but you
I
like
do
to
write. I do like to write. My husband is the prolific writer that writes all the music for the band. But I have papers everywhere when I do write.
You like the old-fashioned
Yes,
paper and pen in hand. I like that. Are you a consummate reader?
I am a reader.
Who do you like to read?
I love to read everything. Just every kind of book. You know, I love Nicholas Sparks' stories that turn into movies. I love just all different styles of writers.
The cinematic approach is something that's really good. Michael, I read more about your background as well, how you've created music using your own personal experiences as well. This week, today especially, is a heavy day. We woke up to, unfortunately, news about Anthony Bourdain and kind of dealing with such heavy issues kind of in America. I feel like mental health issues are not addressed enough, even though we keep trying to get there. What advice do you all have to young people as far as just dealing with the day-to-day life? And is there, some people turn to music to kind of deal with that?
Well, I would first say it's all in how we see it. I mean, if we see it as a heavy issue, then it becomes hard to talk about. It just has to become like breathing. You know, it's something that you do, and it's something that you have to deal with. You know, it's a part of your life. And a sad emotion, going through things, it's a part of our everyday life, you know. And once we get to that point, I think young people, when they see it as, okay, it's just something that I just, like me getting dressed in the morning, I can talk about it and it not be looked at as a bad thing.
I love what you said over in the press conference earlier. It's just about checking in with each other.
Yes.
Just kind of everyone checking in with each other, kind of being that sort of guidance. I really like that idea. How does your sound kind of focus on embracing the now?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we think about it. I think we think about what's right. And right is not just now, yesterday, tomorrow. Right is forever. And I think our sound is just reminiscent of a sound that has already happened and that lives forever. And it's up to us to make sure that we carry that torch into the future and not forget one another. And our music is not so much about the sound of the ear, but more about the sound of the heart. So making sure that people who listen to the War and Treaty, they're not just hearing the beats, they're not just hearing how good someone can riff or trill or anything like that, but that they're hearing the heart of the message. And the heart of the message is that we are all one and the same, and that everybody on earth matters, and we're all a part of one race, the human race. And that's all I got to say about that.
I love that, and I think it brings a sense of hope that I think the more hope we can kind of instill in people and share with each other when we check in with each other is really important. You recently released Healing Tide. How did you come to work with Emmylou Harris?
Someone who we admire, Don Was, introduced us to Buddy Miller, who then introduced us to Emmylou Harris. And she was so kind and gracious to lend her beauty and her grace and her elegance and her voice to the project, and we're forever grateful to her for that.
And Bonnaroo is a great place for people to find new music. For all those new listeners out there, what's the one song you would recommend they hear of yours to get a good idea of your overall vibe?
I would say Down to the River.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because it pretty much just embodies the grit and toughness of the War and Treaty, and it really, you kind of like when you watch a movie in the middle of a series, you got to go back. So I would say that, and then they'll understand Healing Tide, which is our single that's out right now. They'll understand where that tenacity comes from, and where the whole pressing of let's work together to heal versus looking for one guy or one gal to kind of like usher in that movement. It's all of us, and we all have to do our part.
I love that. Everyone has to do their
Everyone has
part.
to do their part,
I love that.
definitely.
So obviously we're here for live music, but what role do you see music streaming having for you guys?
I think it's amazing to be able to have your music stream all over the world. You know, it's a positive to me because, you know, unlike before, you would have to get on a plane in order for people to hear your music in Japan. Now all you have to do is push play and put it up, and people will find you. So
I think it's amazing when it's not abused.
yeah.
I think it's become an excuse to not go out and experience one another face to face. And I feel that as long as these modes of making things simpler doesn't make human emotion and human touch harder, I think it's a good thing. But when you use it to replace just that good getting out and buying and getting out and supporting one another and getting out at record store days and that sort of thing, I feel that when we do that, it becomes a little bit more problematic. So those are my honest thoughts about it.
I mean, Bonnaroo's a great sense of community. Do you prefer the outdoor festivals or the more intimate club gigs?
I prefer wherever people are, wherever
that
hearts
too.
are, you know.
I feel like this festival is a great sense of
Yeah.
community. What's up next for y'all after Bonnaroo?
We're going to go to Spoleto, Charleston, and tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Sunday, to share a bill with one of our favorite bands, the Lone Bellow. And in immediate future, we have other festivals like Newport Folk Festival, Telluride, a lot of Canadian festivals that we're super excited about. And we're just excited to go on the road with the Indigo Girls, sharing a couple of dates with them. And they've been so kind and gracious to take us on more than we could ever ask for. So that's what's next.
Lots more planned. Stay tuned for much more from Warren Treaty. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.